Hi everybody, it's Whitney Beckett with Nest Realty, and I'm back trying to make real estate a little less complicated, one caffeinated clip at a time. So I read in a recent Gallup survey that almost 50% of adults in America would prefer to live in a small town or a rural setting post 2020. I can think of a few reasons why. What's important to note is that's up 9% from the year 2018. I've seen this myself. Folks are looking for a little bit more space, more breathing room. So they're venturing out to look at homes in more rural parts of our counties. And oftentimes that means encountering the possibility of living with something they don't know anything about. So today's topic, septic systems. Chances are if you grew up in a more suburban or urban area, you've never lived on a property that has a septic system. So let's just kind of break it down and briefly talk about how it works and why it's not something you need to be quite so scared of. So when you live in a more rural setting, your septic tank is what is used to filter and safely treat your water before it goes back into the groundwater versus like a public sanitation or water treatment facility. Now, there are tons of different types of septic systems. I'm just going to cover what's most commonly used. The components of your septic system are the septic tank, the distribution box, the distribution lines, and the drain field, or the leach field, as it's called. All the water leaves your home from one main drain pipe and it goes into the septic tank. I'll spare you what happens in the septic tank. We don't need to talk about that. When the water leaves the septic tank, it goes through the distribution box, follows the drain lines to the leach field. And the leach field is made up usually of pipes that are perforated that allow the water to safely and slowly drain out into the soil and filter through the soil where it can safely be added back to the groundwater. If you have a septic system, you're going to want to know where your drain field is because you do not want to drive over or park anything heavy on that portion of your yard as it could damage the pipes. You also want to be careful not to plant any large trees or bushes or anything like that around that area because root systems can grow and damage the pipes. A good general rule of thumb for this is that if you have a 25-foot tall tree, it's going to have 25-foot long roots. And lastly, servicing a septic system, you want to have a professional septic company come out to clean and pump that septic about every 3 years. And in my experience in our area, that's going to run you $400 or less. Of course, that'll vary depending on the company and the system you have. So if you find yourself looking to move a little further out away from it all and you find a home that's on a septic system, don't be scared. A lot of homes in our area have septic systems. But when purchasing a home with a septic system, it is important to note that a septic inspection is not part of your regular home inspection. It's a separate inspection that needs to be done by a qualified professional. So if you have questions about moving out to a more rural area or septic systems or anything else real estate related that doesn't have to do with septic systems, I'm happy to chat anytime. Please feel free to reach out via social media, call or text. Let's meet up. You bring the questions and I'll get the coffee. Have a great weekend.